Good Thursday evening, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain AccuWeather, coming to you by way of the Captain AccuWeather Command Center. How much rain did you get today? We're going to explore that. In fact, there's much more coming on Saturday. I talked about the heavier rain encore. We'll see a big pullback tomorrow. And it actually had a big pullback this evening in spots. As you can see, there's only a few showers that remain, although we had some downpours for perhaps the drive home in spots too. But if you look really closely, I'm looking at Sevier County. There appears to be a little green box or polygon there, and I do believe that is a flood advisory. Am I correct? Yeah, aerial flood advisory that runs until 10:15 tonight. So if you're in Sevier County, the wording from the National Weather Service believes that at 7:11 the radar indicated heavy rain and minor flooding was ongoing, and they expected it to begin shortly in the advisory area. This came out at 7:11 tonight, about a little more than an hour ago. And they figured 1 to 2 inches of rain have already fallen in this little box, this little polygon. So 1 to 2 inches there, with another half inch expected over the area. Any additional rain would only result in minor flooding. So this would include Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Pittman Center, Pigeon Forge, Elkmont, Harrisburg, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Wares Valley, and Round Top Mountain State Park, just to name a few areas. So this is what's under the aerial flood advisory. But I want to check in with you. I'm on YouTube, on Facebook. If you're just curious, I want to say hi to you. Got a lot to cover tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about snow. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you it's going to come back. Some of you are like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. But then you said that before Martin Luther King Day, right? And then Mother Nature kind of dealt a hand of snow in your backyard and mine. So I think winter is far from over. We might have had just a tease. I call it the appetizer. Winter's appetizer was Martin Luther King Day storm. Now, I think we've got multiple events going on in February, and we'll explore that here in a moment. But if you're on the call, I'm on YouTube. Let me know if you're on YouTube. If you're also Facebook. Facebook, I see Judy says, hello there. Judy, good to have you here. Even if no one else is watching, I got Judy. She's got an audience of one. I love it. I can at least make this as personalized as I possibly can. But the Ultimate Doppler Radar, presented by Madlock Tire Service and Auto Repair. They're East Tennessee's #1 tire shop and auto repair since 1953. I'll talk about them in a moment. But let me just zoom in a little bit tighter, where we'll take off the flood advisory. We've covered that ground. And the areas that covered, you can see clearly, are included in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and up toward just really north of Clingman's Dome, where they've had quite a bit of rain in this area. So this is the area we're looking for. The 1 to 2 has already fallen, and there could be still some minor flooding that is taking place by the wording of the Weather Service. Now, I don't see lightning as an issue here, but we do have some showers perhaps around Caryville, La Follette, Campbell County right now. A couple of showers near Speedwell and over toward Petros. So we're looking at some rain there, just around, say, Oliver Springs, Oak Ridge, just to the northwest of Windrock, and Harriman Kingston getting in on the act with some showers from Dearmont to Oakdale down towards Circle M and Anglers Cove. So if you're in these areas, you're getting a few showers. That's probably about all we're going to see for the rest of tonight, because there will be a pullback as we head into our day on Friday. Let me show you what the amounts. If you're curious, how much rain did you get? I know that some of you in yellow around Kingston might have picked over 2 inches. If you comb it over, yeah, it looks like 2.3 around Kingston, about 2 inches in Anderson County. I am curious how much rain you think you have. If you have a backyard thermometer, I would trust your measurement over the Doppler estimates. But there were some areas in Sevier County they thought was 1 to 2. And I see a 0.96 there near Sevierville, estimated, and near 1.9 near Clingman's Dome. So there were some heavier amounts. Wanda Evans says she's watching. Thank you, Wanda. Love the fact that you're here. I'm watching you as your comments come in on Facebook. Kathy Self, representing East Morristown. Good evening, Kathy. Good to see you. And Carrie Aguilar says, David, thanks for keeping us updated. She's got a little heart there. Thank you, Carrie. Heart back to you. And Mary Morgan says hi. I want to say hi to Mary. Hi, Mary. Good to have you here on a Thursday night. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. But anyway, this is just a representation. It's not exact, but it gives you an idea of what the Doppler thinks has fallen in some of these areas. So if we comb it over, we'll just actually take off the numbers, and then you can maybe see, maybe not going to be able to do that, but it'll zoom in. It's a little easier if you zoom in. Yeah, you can see Oak Ridge might have had 2 inches in yellow, maybe near Norris, Kingston, maybe closer to 0.75, about 3/4 around Wartburg. It's hiding. There is Wartburg. And over toward Jamestown, maybe about an inch has fallen today. This would be last night and today, so this is really since this rain began. 0.84 around Oneida, Huntsville, Doppler estimated. La Follette, 0.84. Going over toward Big Barron, a little more than a ½ inch projected there. I would say closer to 3/4 of an inch around Maynardville and near Sharps Chapel. sliding back to the west, east, or excuse me, White Pine, maybe only a quarter by the estimates. But if you have a backyard thermometer, I like to trust that much more. Cosby, about a third of an inch has fallen since last night. Pigeon Forge, about 0.96. Maryville, about an inch, 0.9. Mount Maryville, Alcoa. And as you can see, I'm hopping all around here. But you can see there are some areas that have picked up over an inch. Etowah, about an inch and a half, 1.44. Tellico Plains, a little more than an inch. Madisonville, a little bit more than an inch. So hopefully that gives you some perspective of where we have been. By the way, we go back to the, go back to the Ultimate Doppler radars. You can see a couple of those showers in the Follett area right now, Harriman, Wartburg, and so it goes. By the way, as I mentioned, my sponsor, East Tennessee's #1 tire service and auto repair since 1953. If you are in need of a new set of tires, maybe you need an alignment, maybe you need some help with your brakes, or even an oil change, tire rotations, tire repair, they do so much more. Madlock Tire Service has 5 convenient locations to serve you. They're in Knoxville, they're in Maryville, they're in Lenoir City. That's convenient. Or maybe Athens might be more your style. Or if you're in West Knox County, you might like Hardin Valley. But you do have some choices, and you can always go to madlocktireservice.com. Just set up your own appointment, minimize your wait, as they will get to your car in short order. They do a great job, fantastic job. Glad to have them as a sponsor for this weather segment. You can see those streams of rain coming up from the area south and west. Look at Cookeville. I'm looking at La Follette. So these little streamers may be what we are greeted with tomorrow morning in spots. Maybe different spots, but it will pretty much fade quickly. Look at the temperatures. That's also part of the story, right? Team Spring is giddy. I saw some comments today on my 7 days like, oh, I'm so glad Snowmageddon is gone. That's right. Martin Luther King Day was Snowmageddon for some, right? 8.5, maybe 10 inches of snow or more. Yeah, we had quite a bit. And it was obviously a Sunday, Monday, kind of Tuesday event, but it was a lot of snow, no question. But we're right now no longer thinking about snow. Maybe some fog, yes. Some snow melt still underfoot. In some cases, you can still see in the parking lot. Can you not find 1 or 2 little piles of snow just like shoved over to the side of the road? I see it, I kind of start laughing like, those flakes made it through the big melt, right? Because they're all piled together, they're huddled up to stay together. But anyway, we're at 56 degrees in Knoxville, 67, are you kidding me? Chattanooga at 8 o'clock at night, that's unreal. Unreal. Normal high is 49, normal low is 30. And we're at 67 down there in Chattanooga and Hamilton County. I think that's fascinating. It's 51 in Paducah, 62 in Johnson City. And yes, there was quite a bit of variability in the temperature department today. Look at these numbers. These are current. It's 8:40 right now. It's 64 in Oneida, 63 Rockwood. And it looks like Knoxville, Oak Ridge are the cool spots. You say, that's weird. Well, think about it. We're in the bottom of the valley, right? Some areas, warm air rises, so there are some on the hills that are actually warmer than we are. And in this case, we're at the 56 degree mark, and I don't see us getting any lower than 54 here in town. That means temperatures are likely to go up. And how do you know that? Look at the arrows. They're like a salmon in the stream, like all the fish swimming upstream. They're bringing up the warm air from Athens, Madisonville. Maryville's at 60. And we got 57 degrees in Sevierville. If you're on the call, say hi to me. I'd love to say hi to you. Melissa Sills says, I had thunder today, so there's a snow. So there must be a snow brewing. She's already expecting that. We'll talk about that. Danny says, good evening, David. Hope you have a wonderful night. Go Vols. Happy to have Danny on the call. And I have not, oh, there's Wanda. Wanda Poe says on YouTube, hi, Wanda. She says, wish all this was snow for Newport. Imagine if we had all that rain changed it. We'd be measuring it in feet, perhaps, before the end of the week. But that's not the case here. This is a rain event. This is a springtime pattern. And it's also bringing a lot of that snow melt, even in the parking lots, right? Much of that's beginning to show signs of waning. But we have 61 right now in Newport, where Wanda Poe is located, and 66 currently in Athens. Let's keep moving. Our winds aren't moving at all. But I can't say they're absent. Where the winds are moving, it's warmer. Well, that seems coinky-dinky. Yeah, no wind in Knoxville, we're in the 50s, but where there's a 12-mile-an-hour wind in Jamestown, they're in the 60s. Because the wind is moving, it's coming from a warm weather direction, so they are warmer where the wind is moving. I suspect tonight it could be easily 5 to 15. So there's some fog where the wind is still. We have still a 1-mile visibility at Oak Ridge, 3 miles visibility in Knoxville. Some of that could be low clouds, but the low cloud ceiling and the fog, it's just a misty kind of atmosphere if you've been outside this evening. This is the future visibility tomorrow morning. There could be some fog, obviously still some puddles where some of that snow melt continues, but still it's not going to be all that different in the sense of the way it feels. Now I expect there will be some sunny breaks tomorrow, as any rain that we see should be confined to the morning hours on Friday. That's because the front will have moved toward Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville, North Carolina is where the front should be most of the day tomorrow, so it moves east. And so we'll see some drier weather tomorrow. Tracking these clouds, the thicker clouds are shaped there in blue, colored in blue, and the colder cloud tops, the coldest, in yellow. We have a lot of clouds overhead. Now, as far as the keeping score, how much rain have we had so far? Well, we've had 4.76 as average. That's normal. It's a clump of time, 30-year normal, from 1991 to 2020. So all the years in between, we average about 4.76. And just as of 7 o'clock tonight, we're now at 5.47. So that bodes well that we're probably going to start getting rid of this description of drought, because all we heard, September, drought, October, drought, November, dry, still drought. We've had all these conversations about drought. Probably somebody was so tired of it. And so the question is, are we still under drought? Well, the drought monitor came out today, but it did not take into account the rain we had last night or today. So it's almost immaterial. Nothing's changed. But we'll know by the time we hit next Thursday, because then that will reflect the rain we get not only last night, today, but the rains we get this Saturday. All of that will be taken into account. But 5.5 inches of rain is an above average month. Can't question that. Now, the future rainfall, if you take into account what you've already had, this is a representation of how much additional rain may fall. And I find this fascinating because it puts the burden in southern sections of Knox County and into Blount County themselves. Now, there's 1.4. That's Saturday. Saturday night, notice it comes up from the south. So Athens, Maryville, Alcoa, South Knoxville might have an additional 2 inches or more. And we've already highlighted the little aerial flood advisory for Sevier County. They've had 1 to 2 already. So if they get another 2.5 or 2.1 in Sevierville, you've already had 1 to 2. There you're in the 3 or 4 range, right, over the week. A lot of rain still yet to come, and most of that will occur Saturday and Saturday night. The tracking the clouds, we got a lot of those. The rain showers trying to thin out tonight. But here's the almanac. This might put things in perspective. We picked up 0.42 inches of rain yesterday and 0.47 today. And that equals 0.89. So if you're playing the home game version, yes, we've had just under 9/10 of an inch. But the main event is shaping up to be Saturday night. I think that's when the lion's share of this rain will come in, and I expect we'll probably pick up about 1.5 to 2 inches of additional rain area-wide. That's going to be an area-wide expectation for that time frame. But get ahead of myself. Temperature hit 59 degrees, not the 65, I believe we could have hit today. But the high occurred at 5:09. It's funny because Athens, you know Athens hit 70 today, just around 7 o'clock at night. What? Yeah, Athens hits their high temperature at 7 o'clock tonight, 7:30 actually, at 70 degrees. You say, that's crazy. And it's not even chillier, but I could just do a little toggle. I know that they had that temperature there, and they're showing 69 estimated, and more some at 63. So there was some upper 60s in the Southern Valley today. But looking at the airport reading at Athens, KMMI is their airport code, they have hit 70 degrees today. So amazing stuff. 63 Crossville, 66 in Oneida, La Follette hitting 63 today. You'll see Chattanooga was 69. It was 71 in Birmingham and 63 Jackson, Tennessee. Jackson, Kentucky hitting 62. So we have been out of the mix, a lot cooler than our northeast and even southern neighbors. Here are the headlines. Some morning rain on Friday will fade quickly. I mean, like, you got to be up early to get some of the rain, as we're seeing a little bit right now. Heavier rains again on Saturday. That's area-wide, speeding up. This morning, I thought maybe it'd be here by 9. It'll probably be here by 6 or 7 in the morning. It's going to race in here from the southwest. There'll be nothing to hold it back. It's going to come in here. So if you think it's going to wait till the afternoon, change your plans, because it's going to be a soggy, soggy day, I believe, on Saturday. Heavier rains on Saturday, and then some showers on Sunday, mainly of the rain variety, but with the horseshoe effect, it'll be colder. So expect some mountain snowflakes, and maybe some flakes in places like Harlan County, Kentucky, and maybe even northern parts of Campbell County, like La Follette. Might see a few flurries before Sunday afternoon is through. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Just checking in with you. See Grant Williams. Hey, Captain, good to have you here. Grant, glad to have you here. We're looking at Eagle Concepts, freelance photographer, 61 degrees Bulls Gap, the best weatherman on the planet. You're very kind, very kind. And I hope to please you with some snow reports, because I say snow report. I can only show you the model data. I go into greater detail as my premium members can tell you. I go into more specifics, which days more favorable, that type of thing, on the premium side on Facebook. And it's only $4.99 a month. Not a day, not a week, $4.99 for the whole month, which is like a cup of coffee. So if you like, just average it out, 16 cents a day. My premium members will say, yeah, I get 16 cents worth of information a day. If they didn't think that, they wouldn't still be with me. And I've had many of them with me now for over a year. So I'm very thankful for them. Wanda's talking about the best weatherman in the world. You're very kind. I can't live up to that expectation. I'm just the messenger. That's all I am. I can show you what we have in terms of headlines, though. Heavier rains come in Saturday, showers come in on Sunday. It's now 8:47. We're getting to the good part if you're a fan of winter. If you're still rooting for Team Snow, well, we're going to look at that here in moments, but we'll start with the temperatures and the cold. 55, current temperature in Knoxville. Where is the cold air? I mean, when Caribou's 23, that's not that cold, and Bismarck is 27, there's definitely been a pullback, right? Because of these southern winds, southerly winds. Huntington, West Virginia, 61. Madison, Wisconsin, currently 34. And Houston, Texas, is at 61. I see some 70s now in Orlando. I'm sure they're thrilled. They're probably happy they're in the, when they were in the 50s and 60s going, this is for the birds. If you pay money to go to Disney World, you don't go there for 50s and 60s. No, you want warmer weather? Well, they're finally getting back into the 70s in Orlando. They've been in the 70s in Miami. But all things considered, 27 Bismarck does not seem that cold. So let's see how this is going to change. It's going to change just as dramatically as the low tide goes to high tide at the beach. Many of us go to the beach all the time. We're reading a book, we're playing frisbee or cornhole and playing with friends and just walking, collecting seashells. But did you ever stop and notice the ocean does its own thing? It doesn't take requests. The waves come crashing in, or it's pretty calm in the morning with the low tide. And you can't boogie board in the morning, potentially, because you got low tide. That's the way the water works, the water vapor. Because the atmosphere, if you ever look at the sky, next time, it looks like just like the ocean. And it behaves a lot like the ocean. It goes in waves. Science teachers know all about cosine and sine. That's what this is. We're just making it simple, right? Watch the colors change dramatically as we head into the weekend. Because Saturday looks pretty warm. But I see a little low in Memphis. All the colors. Look at the arrows. The blue arrows, cold side. Red arrows, warm side. There's a little low. You can almost just plot it right there between Memphis and Dallas. But it's nice and warm on Saturday. Temperatures can be near 58 degrees, pushing near 60. But once we move into Saturday night, still warm. I don't see any difference yet, but give it a couple of hours. Shazam! 3:30 Sunday. Hey, it got cold all of a sudden. And you'll notice these winds, they're almost perpendicular. You like that word? Perpendiculars are the Smokies. So you got horseshoe effect. It's not a snow for Knox County. It's just not. It's like the other day when I was trying to show you, it's a horseshoe. So you're going to get these winds, and you take a closer look, we'll get some good snows in the Smokies. But you won't get it in the valley. You just won't. Not under this type of pattern. So these are upper level winds. These are 5,000-foot temperatures, but it gets bone-chilling cold as early as this Sunday, right? We're going to be back in the 20s come Tuesday morning, and pretty cold. There's 9:30, Monday the 29th, very cold. The Arctic air in purple north of Montreal stays there. And then we see this spin coming back in at the end of the month. There's January 31st, another cold spell. And anything that's blue is cold enough. Anything blue, cold enough to produce some snowflakes. But it depends on the type of system going on at the surface. So in this case, it's going to be colder. By Wednesday, I think we'll be hard-pressed to get above 46 degrees on Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon, I have a high of 46. So it's very cold going into the month of February. Then we see kind of things moderate a bit, but then it gets so cold. Look at Dallas. And if you want frozen orange juice in Florida, it's coming back. Look at all the blue in Jacksonville and Tampa. They're going to be bellyache. Oh, I got to wear a sweater. It's 58 in Tampa. I got to wear a sweater. It's going to be cold, right? All those areas from Knoxville to Wichita to Dallas are going to be game on. Winter's back. And it's back with a vengeance in terms of the cold. And eventually, if the pattern's right, we get a little southern slider, as I like to call them, moving between Chattanooga and Atlanta. It's lights out. We got more snow. We'll get some more snow. But it will ebb and flow, much like the tide at the beach. Now, model data. This is not a forecast. I repeat, this is snow potential. I would be foolish not to show you that there's this kind of output because you're going to probably see it somewhere on the internet. At least I can explain it. There's the horseshoe, right? But then if you look really closely, a lot of that snow starts to fill in. Well, that's weird. That's the 7th of February. If I zoom in a little bit tighter, Oh, yeah, but you know what? All you have to do is just, so, well, that's not much for Knoxville. This is just one model run. Give it time. Because if you just go upstream a little bit, I'm seeing what, 8, 9, 17, 21 inches in West Virginia. It wouldn't take much. We saw this earlier today. It looked like it was heavy around Asheville and Charlotte. So again, if we have a system that comes in from between, say, Chattanooga and Atlanta, we could see this throw back some snow in a similar fashion. Maybe not the same amounts, but in a similar fashion that we had on MLK Junior Day. So just keep an eye. This is just something to watch. And if this is something important to you, you need to know. I have a good number of school teachers, truck drivers, weather enthusiasts, seniors who just want to know and like to know what's going to happen. So I don't know what your appetite is for information, but if you are wanting to sample us, I encourage you to do so. We'll talk more about the winter possibilities in the days to come. And all you have to do is hit the subscribe button on my Facebook page or go to CaptainAccurate.com to sign up. Now, the Storm Prediction Center is not backing away. They still think Saturday, not tomorrow, but Saturday has the potential for some severe weather to our south. Where you see some light green would be some thunderstorms potentially in light green, but this is indicative of the pullback for tomorrow. But if we jump ahead to Saturday, all of a sudden we have not only isolated severe storms in green, like Atlanta, but we have some scattered severe storms potentially in their markings with their coloring in places like Montgomery, Alabama, and maybe just southwest of Atlanta, not far from Peachtree City, and maybe near Columbus. So those are the hot spots for Saturday for severe weather, and it's really just stopped short of the Tennessee-Georgia line, right? There's still some potential for thunder here, and it will come in, I think, with an abundance of rain. Now, here's how it plays out. A couple of showers tonight. We see that now. The front moves toward Asheville to the east tomorrow morning, and if there are some stray showers, and I suspect there will be, maybe not showing up here, but there will be a few in the morning. Then it moves further away, and then we lock and reload because this low is going to come up from Mississippi. It's going to come up from Louisiana. Here's 7 o'clock, 7:15 Saturday morning. Heavy rain in Nashville, stretches all the way across Knoxville. And that's, I mean, that red spot could be right over Maryville. It's still yet to be determined. But there will be some pockets of heavy rain Saturday. I suspect we'll get about 1.5 inches to 2 inches on average for many of us. And this warm front's going to help enhance some of that rain as it pours in here. So it is going to be a soggy day, no doubt, for Saturday. Sunday is a different story. That's when the colder air wraps around. That's when you see the horseshoe effect, right? Snowing in La Follette, potentially, wet snow, and sticking in the higher elevations at Clingman's Dome, as well as maybe chimney tops. But that looks to me, with winds perpendicular to the Smokies practically, that's what you're going to find. Not a Knoxville snow type pattern. This will not be a big deal for Knoxville. If you're having to travel through the Smokies, you have to get to the Smokies, get to Asheville, let's say you're going to North Carolina, that you need to be aware, because I'm sure there will be winter weather advisories with this type of snow in the Smokies, heading into Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and so it goes. So that will be what we see over time. Right now, I'm going to check in with your comments, but 54 degrees. This is my expected low tonight. A few showers and maybe a rumble of thunder, but some fog will persist. And where you see the winds are moving, they're not obviously moving Knoxville, but there's still the potential for 5 to 15 plus with those winds coming up from the south-southwest. My low temperatures tonight reflect upper 40s for Morgan County, low 50s for Bell County, and low 50s for Hamblin County and Granger County. Got 53 for Morristown, but 58 for a low in Tellico Plains. Just checking in with you. If any comments, you let me know. Stephanie McDaniel Wise says, I am thankful for the rain. It's nice, right? It feels like a cleansing for sure, and it's nice to see. But I see Hallie Gibson says, lots of rain and flooding in Kingston. It's funny because, not funny, haha, but coincidental that the yellow patch from the storm total put it right over Kingston. So it would look like you had about 2.5 inches of rain already in some spots. Karen Maxwell has been tagged by our friend Melissa, and Steven Snyder says, I saw people yesterday ignoring the signs because of flooding and got stuck in the water. Isn't that sad? I mean, it's one of those things that people don't learn until they have to learn, right? Then they go, oh, I should have thought, maybe turn around. We talked about that last night in great detail. Turn around, don't drown. Because you get stuck, then there's a first responder that has to come get you, and you put that first responder's life in danger, right? Not a smart move. So just don't compromise your safety at the expense of others, because they will rescue you, but they have to put themselves in danger too. So just make sure you're careful when it rains that hard. And we will get that rain again in buckets on Saturday. We're not out of the woods in that regard. Let me get to the rest of the forecast. It's 8:57. I wanted to be done before 9, and it looks like I'm going to finish right on time. Mostly cloudy, some morning rain, 40%, and that might be generous because it could happen in the wee hours of the morning. But if we're lucky, get a little hazy sunshine, I think Knoxville has a good chance to finally catch up with all our neighbors. We get into the mid-60s, low to mid-60s for a high. Tomorrow, 63 for Oak Ridge seems reachable. 66, Tellico Plains seems obtainable to me, and 60 for Crossville in the heart of Cumberland County for a high temperature tomorrow. It's about 63 for Morristown. Looking ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast, I believe I have a down arrow. If I put this on time right, it is Sunday. So Sunday, most of the day will be in the upper 40s. But technically, maybe at midnight to 3 a.m., it's still in the low 50s. You work the third shift. I thought, well, I'll just put the 52 because that's, I think, the actual high temperature in the low 50s. But most of the day will be about 4 degrees colder. 45 if you're lucky on Monday for a high temperature with some drizzle in Knoxville and more mountain snowflakes and snow showers. So the snow will continue to pile up in some of the higher elevations. They do make for great pictures. I'm thinking Mount LeConte, other places. Newfound Gap, we have a great webcam from the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. So they can show us some great pictures of the snow that they get. So we might have some snow envy early next week while they get the snow. But a 30% chance on Tuesday with some drops and flakes. And then there's some evidence, that by Tuesday night, we could see a good round of a mix of rain and snow showers before it fades away by sunrise Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, we're down to 36 and 27 on Thursday morning. So you kind of need a scorecard every day with these changeable patterns because, again, the pattern is sine and cosine, right? It's the atmospheric waves. And they're whipping. It's like I think Cray Slavin said it best. He's called it weather whiplash. I love that. I'm giving him credit. Weather whiplash. So that's what we're going to experience heading into February because just as quickly as we warmed up this week, we're going to see things start to change by the time we hit Sunday, Monday of next week because we'll be lucky to get out of the 40s for at least Monday, Wednesday, Thursday for afternoon high temperatures. Just checking in one more time. I want to say thank you for your time. Melissa's on here, and if you're on YouTube, I'd love to say hi to you again. Wanda Post says, wish all this was snow for Newport. Absolutely, for sure. As I think many are ready for maybe the change. And if you're a fan of the snow or your kids are depressed because Frosty the Snowman disappeared, well, encourage the kiddos that it will come back. It may be a challenge to get all the school curriculum in because they've had so many snow days, right? If we got if we have 3, let's say we have 3 more good snow events, and I don't mean horseshoe events. I mean like Knoxville snow. That would put some interesting conversations in the realm of the superintendents, right? They'd have to say, well, how long is school going to go on? I don't know. I'm not the decision maker for that, but I do find it is going to probably be a discussion that's going to have to be had sooner or later. Well, my name is David Aldridge. It's not easy being Captain Accurate. I can tell you that. We'll see you here next time. Take care.